These are the Posh Crochet baby booties that I'll show you how to make today, and you can make them plain without the ribbon and the bow, or you can add the ribbon and bow just to spice it up a little bit. You can make the sizes from newborn up to 1 year old, and you'll be using the same pattern. You'll just be changing the size of hook for any different size, and I've got it up on the screen there of which size hook you'll need for whatever size you're looking to make. So for materials required, you'll choose whichever hook you need, and I'm using Clover Soft Touch hooks. I generally get asked about these, so I've added a link in the description box if you want to buy a set of these. So once you've chosen the size of hook you need, then you'll need your yarn, and I'm using a Panda Magnum Soft 8 ply, and the equivalent in US is a sports lightweight category 3 yarn. I'm using a taupe colour. The buttons I'm using are little bows, and I've got them from a pack of Butron craft buttons, and you just get all different shapes and colours in there. Or you can just use a round button, any buttons you have on hand. You'll also need some double-sided satin ribbon, not very much, because they're just little pieces that we're going to use and go like that, cut it there. I'm using white, you can use another colour. You'll also need a sewing needle, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, some cotton thread, and your craft scissors. So to get started, I'm going to be using a 5mm hook just to make it easier for you to see, and we'll start off with 10 chain stitches. So you'll need to chain on 10 chain stitches, and once you've got those 10 chain stitches, for round 1 we're going to do a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So there's 1, there's 2. So single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and we'll be doing a single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've only got one more chain stitch here at the end to work with, and for this chain stitch we're going to work 5 single crochet into this last chain stitch. Now for the first single crochet stitch we make sure your tail is over, your yarn tail is over your finger like that, because we're going to work over the top of it, and make sure it's over your hook, and then make your single crochet over that tail, and then you can just leave it at the back there, because we'll work over it as we come around the other side in a moment. So we've got one single crochet into the last chain stitch, there's 2, three, and see how we're coming around to the other side here, 4, 5, and you just naturally come around, and then we'll be working into these unused loops, which are the 2 strands at the bottom of each single crochet stitch that we've made. They're also called free loops. Now on this side we'll be working over this tail. It just means we don't have to weave it in with a yarn needle later. So now we'll be doing a single crochet into each of the next 7 unused loops. So we go in there, making sure that yarn tail is over the hook because we're going to work over it. And I've gone into both loops, and we do a single crochet. See where those 2 strands are there? You go in under both of them, put your tail over the hook and do a single crochet. So that's our second single crochet on this side. Here's our third one. Fourth one. Fifth. Sixth. And 7. Now we've got one more unused loop here, because that's a single crochet stitch there, so you can see the hole in there and the 2 loops. We're going to work into that hole, and we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches into that unused loop. So 1, and 2, and to finish the round, turn your work like that, and you can see that there's the first single crochet stitch there, and you can tell because there's the V on the top and there's 2 strands there. So we're just going to work a slip stitch into that first single crochet to join the round, and there's our first round complete. And now you can trim that yarn tail off because we've worked that into the booty already, so we don't need to weave that in with a needle now. Okay, So now we're up to round 2, and we'll chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to work a half double crochet into the same stitch here where the chain 2 is. So it's this one here. So half double crochet. Then we're going to do a half double crochet into each of the next 7 stitches along. There's 1 half double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're up to shaping the toe, and we're going to be increasing. And when you increase, we're going to put 2 half double crochet stitches into each of the next 5 stitches around here, and that will thicken it up to form the toe. So into the next stitch we'll do 2 half double crochet stitches. So there's 1, and into the same stitch another half double crochet. So we've got 2 half double crochet stitches into that stitch. We'll do the same on the next one. One, 2 half double crochet stitches into that stitch. And the same again. There's 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and a second one into that same stitch. The same again here. 2 half double crochet stitches into this next stitch. There's 1 and 2, and the same into this one. 1 half double crochet and a second one into the same stitch. You can see that that's forming the toe. So now we're on the other side, and we'll do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 7 stitches along. So 1 into the next one, 2 into the next stitch, our third half double crochet, to the next one, 4, to the next one, 5, to the next one, 6, to the next one, 7. And now we're going to do 2 half double crochet stitches into each of these last 2 stitches here. So into the next stitch here, do a half double crochet, the first one, and then we're going to do a second one into that same stitch. Into this next stitch we'll do the same. So we'll do our first half double crochet and then our second half double crochet into that same stitch. And now we're going to join into the chain 2 that we made. Now I forgot to put my stitch marker in, but I'll do that from here on in out so you can see. But there's our first chain stitch and here's our second one, because that's our first half double crochet there, so I know that that's my second chain stitch there. So you want to just pop through both loops of that chain stitch, the second chain stitch where we started, and join with a slip stitch, and that's the end of round 2. So for round 3 we'll chain 2, 1, 2, and this time I'll place my marker. And if you don't have a marker, just use a safety pin or something else, just so you know where to join when you come around the other side. Okay, so I've got my marker in, and now we're going to do a half double crochet into the same space as the chain 2. So if you pull it up you can actually see the hole there. That's where we want to go into. So a half double crochet into that stitch there. And now we're going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches along. There's our first half double crochet. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. I need to get more yarn. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12 half double crochet stitches. Okay, so now with the next 3 stitches we're going to do 2 half double crochet into each, and we're just thickening up the toe again, increasing. So into this next stitch, put our first half double crochet and a second half double crochet into that same stitch. Now we'll do the same for the next one. Half double crochet into that stitch and a second half double crochet into the same stitch, and the same for the next one. 1 half double crochet into that stitch and a second half double crochet into that same stitch. Now we'll do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches along. So 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and that's what we'll be doing for the next 12 stitches, but we've done our first one there, so that's 1. 2 half double crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now we'll do 2 half double crochet into each of the last 2 stitches here. So into the next stitch, do your first half double crochet, and into the same stitch, second half double crochet, into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet, and do a second half double crochet into that same stitch. And now we're ready to join into where we've got our stitch marker. So we join with a slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. And that's the end of round 3, and that's the sole completed. So we're up to round 4, and we'll be working in the back loops only for this round, and this forms this little divide or edge here on the bootie. So to start round 4, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, placing the marker into that second chain stitch you just made. And we're going to be doing 1/2 double crochet into each stitch around to the end. So this is a very easy round, and as I said, it'll just be into the back loops. So you can see the chain 2 there. So the first one you're going to go into is this one here. Just into the back loop with a 1/2 double crochet. Into the next one, to the back loop, the 1/2 double crochet. And see how it leaves those front loops there. Into the next one, just into the back loop with a 1/2 double crochet. And that's all we're doing on this round. So continue right around into each stitch, into the back loop of each stitch with a 1/2 double crochet, and I'll see you round here at the end. So I'm at the end of round 4, and I've made my last 1/2 double crochet into this stitch here. And there's our chain there. So now we take out our marker, and we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that chain 2. And that's the end of round 4. Okay, so for round 5, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, and placing our marker back into that second chain stitch we just made there. And for this round, this is an easy round. We're not working in back loops anymore. We're working into both of the loops of each stitch, and we'll be doing 1/2 double crochet into each stitch around to the end. So this is the first stitch here that we start on, into both loops of each stitch now. So back to normal. So 1/2 double crochet into each stitch around. So continue to make a 1/2 double crochet into each stitch around, and I'll see you at the end here. I'm at the end of round 5, and I've made my last half double crochet stitch here, and now we're going to join into the top of our chain 2 here with a slip stitch. So take the marker out, and that's what it's looking like at the end of round 5. So for round 6, we'll be shaping the toe and the top of the foot. So to start, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, placing the marker in that second chain stitch. We'll do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. So here's our first one here. The chain 2 does count as 1 half double crochet stitch. So there's one of the 11 that we're doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going to get more yarn. 8, 9, 10, 11. So now here we'll be shaping the toe, and how we do that is we're going to double crochet 2 together 6 times. So I'll show you the first one. So to double crochet 2 together, wrap the yarn over the hook, insert it into that next stitch, wrap the yarn over the hook, draw it through the stitch, wrap the yarn over the hook, draw it through 2 loops on the hook, wrap the yarn over the hook, insert it into the next stitch, wrap the yarn over the hook, draw it through that second stitch, wrap the yarn over the hook, draw it through 2 loops on the hook, wrap the yarn over the hook and draw it through all 3 loops on the hook. And there, that's double crocheting 2 together. So we need to do that 5 more times. I'm doing it slow for you so you can see what I'm doing. So there's our second double crochet 2 together onto the third, we've got 1, 2, 3 done. On to the 4th now. That's 4. On to the 5th. That's 5 done. On to the 6th. And there's our 6th double crochet 2 together. Let's see how it pulls the toe together. Okay, so that's that hard part done. Now we're going to do 1/2 double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches along. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. And now we're going to join into the top of the chain 2 where we have our marker by making a slip stitch. And that's the end of round 6. And that's what the booty's looking like so far. For round 7, we'll chain 2, 1, 2, place the marker into that second chain stitch, and we'll do 1/2 double crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. So here's our first one. One, 2 half double crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we'll be double crocheting 2 together 4 times. So we did it 6 times down here, now we'll do it 4 times around here. So here's our first double crochet 2 together. There's our first one complete. Double crochet 2 together. So our second one into the next stitch. Into the next stitch. So you've probably noticed that when you're double crocheting 2 together, you do it over 2 stitches. Okay, so there's our second one. Here's our third one. There's the third one complete. Onto the fourth one now. There's the fourth one complete. Now we'll do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. So 1 half double crochet, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, and then we're going to join into the top of this chain 2. Take the stitch marker out, and we make a slip stitch. And that's the end of round 7. So now we're going to do the ankle and strap with round 8, which is the last round. So we'll chain 2, 1, 2, place the marker in that second chain stitch, and we'll do a half double crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. There's our first one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to chain 6 for the strap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to skip 8 stitches along here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to work into this one, the next one along, so skip 8 stitches there. Now we'll do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 9 stitches. So making sure you've got the right one there. This is a little bit tricky. So half double crochet into that, stitch across there once you've skipped your 8. That's how it should look like. Okay, so there's 1 half double crochet. It's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and now we join into the top of the chain 2. With a slip stitch. That's what it's looking like now. That was our last round, so leave a fair amount of yarn and trim it off. And then finish off, making sure that knot's tight. And then you'll need your yarn needle. And just thread your yarn through your yarn needle. And see where your knot is there. Just take the needle down the middle of the next stitch there. That should bring down the knot as much as it can come down. Now you will see gaps here at the back where the joins are, and I like to hide those with a little trick where I just use my yarn here and I slip the needle down through the back of the stitches here. And just keep taking it right down. And see, when you turn it over, it doesn't look like there's gaps anymore. And then you can turn your booty back. Like to secure that there. Then come back up and then just find any row to weave your yarn end in. And then just skip a loop, skip that loop there, take it back. You can keep going for as long as you like, and then cut that off, and the booty's all done. And you can use the booty just as is like this, or if you want to add a button and ribbon, I'll show you how to do that. So to prepare for putting the ribbon and the button on, I just get a little bit of ribbon. You can measure how much you want. Just bend it in a V like that. Make sure you cut it at the same length as the other side. And then just decide wherever you're going to have it. I put mine on the sides like that. So I've got the ribbon. Now with the thread, I like to thread it on to my sewing needle and make sure that I have two lengths, two even lengths. And then cut that there and tie a knot in the end. Then I get my booty. And my ribbon, and first I like to secure the ribbon, so just pop the needle up the side there where you're going to have it, and don't pull right through, and then like that, and then press through the other side. Bring that right through, and then to secure it at the back I like to put the needle in between the cotton thread, and that secures it to the back. And then you'll need to bring the needle up through the back there, through the ribbon again. And now you can get your button, making sure it's the right way up. And just place it there. And then just sew it on. Then just keep sewing and sewing, and then just make a knot at the end there and trim it off. And that's basically how you make the posh booties, and you'll end up with a pair like that. So once you've made your first one, you'll obviously need to make a second one,